We got some ads. Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it? Especially if you love the movies. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, most importantly, your pharaoh of physical media. That's right, Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm here with episode 62 of Let's Get Physical Media. But you know, it ain't a show unless I conjure up all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, your favorite Deutsch, my favorite German, your favorite German, Mr. Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how are you?
Rob, I'm awesome because
You are awesome.
last week I said, like Scorpions at the first title, do you and I both have still gas left in the tank?
We do.
And this week came a little movie out, Rob. Perhaps you know it, The Batman, it's called. And it showed me, Rob, considering comic movies, there's still gas left in the tank when it comes to movies, you know?
Always a good thing.
Totally loved it. And I would say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. And welcome to the B&B Motel. All you rock believers, of course. I saw the Batman too. And one topic, Rob, considering the Batman, you've talked already a lot about it. For me, just one thing. For me, the rating in the UK is fitting with the 15. You know, it's not a movie for kids. It has nothing to do with violence, just the atmosphere of the movie. And I wouldn't want to be in a showing with kids at the years of 10. You know, they have not the patience for that kind of movie. You know,
Oh, so it's not the atmosphere, it's the patience. You're not worried about their psychological well-being. You're just worried that they can't handle it.
So for me, the rating in the UK with 15 is absolutely fitting for the movie in general. So for me, it tracks. It tracks if you gave the movie the rating 15 and up. But like you, I love the movie, blown away. Like you said, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. Marvel has conditioned us over the years how a comic book movie should look and feel. And this is a different kind of animal. And like you, I loved it when Batman got into the crime scene with Gordon. This was something totally new. And I was thinking, okay, we can't touch any evidence. How will he find something out? Then came the great stuff with the contact lenses. Totally loved it. Totally loved it, bro.
I did too.
Of course we will buy it on physical media. And Rob, of course, we had a little bit of an emergency on Friday. You know, an anomaly appeared, Rob, in the Borg. The Borg came back in the first episode of Picard, which I watched on Amazon. And I was kind of surprised to see Kevin Smith's friend Mark Bernardin as a supervising
producer. He is.
Yeah. But it's like you said, since everybody has gotten a producer credit on Star Trek Picard, you could probably have a producer credit too.
Oh, I
on
don't
the
think
show.
they'd be giving me a producer credit. I've remained mum about what I thought about Star Trek Picard, aside from a few tweets.
Yeah,
I
we
would
don't need to
call it.
talk about it.
I would call it a greatest hits collection. You know, to me, it's Star Trek greatest hits, and they took like 10 different greatest hits and mashed them up into this story. There was a little bit that I thought was unique. I liked the conversation Picard had with Laris. But, you know, once again, they have to resort to a traumatic backstory for a Star Trek character. He had an abusive father. Like, come on, man. In the Strange New Worlds, upcoming Strange New World series, Uhura's family was killed in some explosion or something. Why is it that these writers today, they can't help themselves? They have to give everyone a traumatic backstory. And now we're giving Jean-Luc Picard a traumatic backstory that he's running away from. You know, it's interesting to me that the great when you're talking about a father-son relationship, Sarek and Spock's relationship, where Spock, even though they're Vulcans, there was a rift between them because Spock decided to not travel the path his father laid out for him to go to the Vulcan Science Academy. He instead joined Starfleet and was one of the first Vulcans in Starfleet. And that rift was a legitimate rift. I mean, it wasn't traumatic in the sense that you had a difference of opinion. You had very strong-willed people that still had mutual respect or whatever. And nowadays, everyone's abusive. And once again, you know, in the 23rd century or 24th century, I guess it would be 23rd when Picard was a young man, or maybe, no, it would have been the 24th century by then. He has to be saddled with an abusive father that beat up his mother. You know, I mean, really? You can't do better than that? It's shocking to me, but it's fine. And then, of course, that's because these writers, that's all they know. They can't come up with anything. You know, show me something. What would happen in our future? How would parents have rifts with one another and their children in the future? What would be something that we here wouldn't have today that would be true in the future? Give me a science fiction version of that. But instead, no. And why does young Picard look like he lives in the 18th century, dressed like a little Oliver Twist kid? I mean, I'm like, what the hell is that? What am I watching? You know, and then of course we have Guinan, we have the Borg, we have Q. We've now gone into an alternate timeline. I mean, it's Star Trek's greatest hits, but you know what I felt it wasn't? It wasn't about anything. You know, what's your story here? Are you going to tell us the same story that we saw already in All Good Things? You know, this idea that is Picard going to find love? It's just, everything about it is, again, it's just creatively bankrupt. And everyone's now, look, I can be warm and fuzzy about it too, because, hey, I'm getting the Next Generation greatest hits. But I've seen them all before. We've gone to alternative fascist pasts. We've gone to alternate timelines. And I'll tell you something else that really bothered me. So the Borg comes out of this anomaly, and the signal that they have buried in there, they're like, we would like to talk to Picard, and we would like to join the Federation. We're appealing for membership of the Federation. Well, why hide that message? Why don't they just, hi, we're the Borg, here's our new ship. We came through the spatial anomaly. We'd like to plead for Federation membership, and we want to talk to Jean-Luc Picard. And then what? They didn't think anything was going to go awry when their queen beams on board and starts taking over the fleet? I mean, it was, and then of course Rios is telling his own crew to stop firing, and they don't stop firing. They just continue to fire. Anyway, I could nitpick it to death.
Yeah. And one thing from my end, Rob, considering changing the future, for me, even in the future, there is a no smoking on the bridge for me.
Yeah, I mean, all of that stuff. It's like, oh, Rio, look at how. What, they haven't figured out the dangers of secondhand smoke? First of all, my dad was a cigar smoker his whole life. When you smoke cigars, you inflict that on everyone that's in the room with you. And for him, I mean, what, the fire suppression system wouldn't kick in? I mean, yeah, and it's just, you look at that stuff and you're like, oh, I get it. He's the edgy pirate captain, or it just
pirate captain, exactly.
Yeah, how about not even in Even in Hunt for Red October, or in Crimson Tide, when Denzel Washington is offered a cigar by Gene Hackman. At least it's on the. I mean, he smokes inside too, but it's on the conning tower. It's outside. Offers him a cigar, you know. But anyway, that's nitpicky. We're getting off topic.
Off topic, Rob. Do you have news for us?
Not much. You know, there's not a whole lot.
Okay.
But there is some good news. You know, the great Columbia box sets, the 4K box sets that they've been putting out. They have announced 2 of those movies are coming out as individual steelbooks, 4K steelbooks. The first, of course, yes, Lawrence of Arabia is coming out, and I really like this artwork on this steelbook. It's pretty cool. So here's the Lawrence of Arabia steelbook for its 60th anniversary, and here is the 65th anniversary of the Bridge on the River Kwai, and these are both coming out as 4K steelbooks. Pretty cool. I mean, I don't need them because I have the box sets, but I thought that was pretty cool. And a movie I like that is not very good, but it's the forgotten Simpson Bruckheimer collaboration from Paramount. Peak 80s, Thief of Hearts, starring Stephen Bauer. You know, in the era of Flashdance and Beverly Hills Cop and all that when Simpson Bruckheimer were making these movies for Paramount, they made this movie, Thief of Hearts. It's finally coming out on Blu-ray. I like it. You know, so sue me. And then, of course, the recent anime film that everyone's buzzing about that I actually never got a chance to see in the theater. I only saw the trailer. Yes, I believe it is. Stephen Bauer from Scarface, who was Tony Montana's friend, Manolo. And he also took over. Yep. Oh, I forgot people can't hear what you're saying, but I don't. So, yes. So Stephen Bauer, who also took over for Ken Wall and Wise Guy, and this animated film Belle, which I'm dying to see. I wanted to see it in IMAX, but every time I went to go see it, I couldn't see it. But I did see the trailer before I saw Matrix Resurrections with Pauly from Latino Slant. So Belle is coming out, and then one of my favorite French filmmakers, Bertrand Tavernier, the box set. Is coming out from Studio Canal, his Essential Collection. Now, he also directed the film Round Midnight that Criterion's putting out that I love. So very exciting. So those are releases that I picked this week that I'm looking forward to. They haven't dropped the sales figures numbers yet. Maybe they did today, but I looked when I checked. They hadn't dropped them yet. So
do we know any box office numbers from the Batman?
Yes, as a matter of fact, would you like to know the Batman box office numbers? Well, I will.
And I hope the word of mouth will be good enough that he goes a long way.
Yes.
What did he do, Rob?
So the Batman has.
He's getting a release in China, I believe. In 2 weeks.
The Batman has made $248 million worldwide.
Okay. Nice.
And overseas. Nice. It opened in 74 offshore markets, and it made $120 million overseas at the international box office.
It's the same around the U.S., I would assume.
Yeah, it's close. The U.S. is $128.5 million, and that leads to a global launch.
It's always a nice balance if it's around 50-50. That's a good sign.
And this is Warner Brothers' biggest film opening in the pandemic era. It's Matt Reeves' best opening. And it's quite good, and this is what Deadline has to say. In another clear sign that moviegoing is alive and well, despite ceasing during the pandemic, Warner Brothers' The Batman is delivering the second best opening since 2019. That's after Spider-Man No Way Home with $128.5 million after a $42 million Saturday, which was 24% against the picks opening Friday in previews. And around the globe, Batman made $248.5 million, and there's a very good chance by tomorrow the Batman could raise above $130 million. With an overseas take of $120 million, Batman is the biggest international industry opening this year to date, and the biggest Warner Brothers opening weekend since Joker, and the studio's best pandemic-era foreign debut without China. And And this is also Matt Reeves' best opening ahead of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And as of right now, the best domestic opening for 2022. Remember, Spider-Man opened in
last year.
2021,
Good.
so it doesn't...
Good start.
It's a really good start considering the movie's also 3 hours long, and it's not for kids, not for kids.
Let's hope a good word of mouth will carry the movie a long way.
So Batman, pretty exciting, pretty cool.
Awesome.
So what do you got?
Continue, Rob?
What do you got for us?
The live chat from last week, Rob.
Okay.
Previously on Let's Get Physical Media, Ken Check Ben was in the live chat, and he said, I would have to say Dieter is only my second favorite German. My first favorite German is German mustard. But Ken, you have to indulge me. What kind of mustard from Germany are you so favorite about? Danzig 1979 was in the chat. Is The Witch 4K only available to buy through Second Sight? Could not see it on Amazon. Danzig, sometimes it takes a little while. Normally you can firstly buy the stuff on the label site itself, but it should come out on the Amazon UK site at some point too. But if you want to make sure, go to Second Sight.
And I would say that, go to Second Sight anyway and support them directly. Because they're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, but I don't know, Danzig, if I think you live in Europe. Considering I don't know if Second Sight is shipping to the US at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
As they didn't with the Dawn of the Dead set. And he was Ken Check Back was back. Isn't Second Sight the name of a little known Bronson Pinchot movie where he plays them very powerful psychic? Actually, it is Ken Check Ben because I looked it up. If you're right, and you're right about that. Tom Jr. Jackson was there. No Way Home just took down the worldwide gross of Titanic. No, Tom, that's just wrong. It's not correct. It took down the domestic
yes.
haul from Titanic, but not the worldwide. So keep your brakes, and it won't surpass Titanic. It could probably have, if it would have opened in China. Then it would, considering plus 300 million from China, then it could have taken down Titanic worldwide. Can check back again. What's the name, considering our favorite genre, one of our favorite, Rape and Revenge? What is the name of that revenge flick they did a few years back with Kevin Bacon? I cannot remember it for the life of me, and even I couldn't remember. So Ken, I looked it up. It was Death Sentence from James Wan.
Yeah.
From 2007.
Which I thought was quite good. I liked it.
It was quite good. Exactly. Proto-Geek. The Adventures of Ford Fairlane is beautiful trash. Proto-Geek, there is a mistake here in the sentence. You remove the word trash, and it says The Adventures of Ford Fairlane is beautiful. And there you go. I corrected your sentence.
Now
okay?
you have to explain to people that you can't just say Ford Fairlane without mentioning that you, sir, are the biggest Ford Fairlane fan on the planet Earth, are you not?
A lot of people are, I believe. I would think so.
And it would also be
And you were the one that always sparks me. Oh, I see the longer version.
It's true.
If we got Rennie on the show at some point, I will ask him if there was really a longer version.
Yeah, and he'll tell you that there was. And that he'll tell you about that screening. And we should, look, if we could recruit him, maybe one of the first discs. You know what I should do? Because isn't The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, is it Fox or is it Warner?
It is Fox, Rob. It is Fox. Correct,
see.
It is Fox.
Now it's owned by Disney.
Yeah,
it would have been, I mean, I think The Adventures of Ford Fairlane and Tombstone are both movies that I would love to see director's cuts for.
Exactly. And you're always looking for Prison from Rennie, Rob, but Marv Dogger 2 said Prison has a great Blu-ray disc from Scream Factory.
Yeah, which I looked
commentary
into.
And making of, Rob.
Yep.
And Jonas Tiger was there. The Longest Good Night is my fave Rennie flick. No argument there. Totally believe that. Limac Ajax, love Eurotrip, as I do. And Mr. Gonzal, of course, chimed in with Scotty Doesn't Know, the great cameo from Matt Damon. Tim Hens asked, is it road trip or Euro trip with the talking dog who tells the stoned old guy to get some waffles? Hilarious. Tim, this was road trip, not Euro trip. Because I remember that scene too. Road trip was great too. Victor Fontaine, Rob, how can you call yourself a physical media collector and not have the 4K steelbooks of the Raimi Spider-Mans? Well, Victor, I answer for Rob, then Rob chimes in. When we buy a movie for the thousandth time, when we buy the 4K, it really doesn't matter if it's the 4K or the standard. We just want to have it. But we're not really looking forward for a really special edition. If we get one, yeah. But from my perspective, Rob.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I'm gonna admit something. I'm not the biggest fan of those movies.
Okay.
I love the first half of Spider-Man, the first one. I love Tobey Maguire getting his powers and stuff, but to me, all three of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies were they took place in movie world instead of, if this makes any sense, instead of the real world. You know, everything was this colorful. They just were not. I didn't connect with them. I liked Spider-Man 2 a lot, but they were not. They just weren't that. They weren't for me. I liked them. And I like Sam Raimi as a filmmaker, but
And he bought them, Victor, and he bought them. Okay.
Well, I had the 3-disc. They came out with a Blu-ray set of the 3.
Yeah.
And I had that
which was
box
a nice one.
set. It was nice set. I had that box set. So when they came out on 4K, I wasn't necessarily inclined to get them.
Jumping over hoops.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I have nothing to show this week. The only thing I did buy this week, though, that hasn't shown up yet, is I did buy the Matrix, the Deja Vu box set of all 4 Matrix movies in 4K because I bought the first Matrix movie, but I didn't buy the sequels. But I kind of wanted them, and I wanted Matrix.
So the box was a more easy pick for you.
Yeah.
To get all in 4K.
So I did get that, and so I've got an extra, which, I'll give my Matrix 4K to somebody, and so take it, But yeah, so there's my shameful admission.
Mission to the Raimi Spider-Man. The Night Keeper at the Burnettwork. Do you own the excellent Sinister starring Ethan Hawke? From my perspective, of course, I own that movie. I probably own it 2 times. Rob,
I also own that film. I quite love that movie. It's great.
Yeah, and we both probably looking forward to the new one with Ethan Hawke and director Scott Derrickson. Black Phone,
that looks so good.
So the next work together of the 2, really looking forward to it. Sinister was great.
Yep.
Considering we talked last week a little bit about having CDs in the car, and Brian Hepburn said, I still have an Alpine deck and CD changer in the garage. Does Alpine exist? Does Alpine exist
anymore?
Still?
That's really, you know what? I mean, I remember
Alpine was the go-to
Alpine or Blaupunk.
Yeah. Was the go-to
let's see, Alpine CD player. Let's see. Yeah. And they still look the same.
Oh,
you
great.
can still buy them. You can go.
I remember Alpine was the crown jewel.
I got to tell you, I've actually I have a I drive a Prius Prime. I have a Prius, and I really want to get a CD player because I still have a lot of CDs. I mean, I have thousands. Like right over here, I have 2 racks. There's probably 1,000 CDs over there, and and the funny thing is,
great.
Well,
that Brian remembered me of the manufacturer Alpine.
Yeah, I that was in my first. The Alpine was the first car stereo that I ever had. I had a Toyota Celica, was my first car, and I put an Alpine system in there. It was bumping. Great. But yeah, I want to put a CD player in my. I don't know if I can because it's all Bluetooth, electronic. I mean, I love the media system in the car is great, but I was kind of bummed. I was kind of bummed that it was beyond. Before I had the Prius, I had a Hyundai, and the Hyundai was a 2016 Hyundai, and it had a CD player in it.
Nice.
And now
So
the
when you
new
drive
cars
to the
don't.
John Campea show, now the Michael Giacchino theme of Batman is on a loop.
Well, it's funny because you can plug in, so the media screen on the Prius, it's got a pretty big screen, and you can hook your phone up to it with a US. Normally it's all Bluetooth, but you can use a USB cord, and the screen in the Prius will mirror the phone. So theoretically, I could watch movies in the car, if I wanted via my phone. A Tesla, you can just watch Netflix or whatever, but I haven't resorted to that because I like my alone time.
Exactly.
But I do want a CD player. I want to put it. It's kind of silly. I mean, you can just burn things and put them on your phone because I have a lot of music on my phone, and it's great. But it'd be nice to be able to play
For all time's sake.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's just a possibility that you could play CD in the car. Paul in Long Beach. Upon clicking this video, we're talking about our last Let's Get Physical Media show, a commercial for Picard Blade. Sorry, Rob.
Okay. I know. No, it's look. I'll tell you. I thought that the premiere of Picard, it was fine. There was a lot more in it that I liked. There was more canonical fealty to the starships that we saw. I mean, I didn't hate it. It was like, to me, it was like a mid-tier TNG episode. What I'm really curious about is it seemed to me that the real story, I mean, even though I don't buy this, but the idea that, they set up these problems with these characters like Captain Picard. Well, you left your heart behind. And it's like, no, he loved Beverly. And we saw, like, in All Good Things, even though it was an alternate future, they got married. I mean, the writers keep making up shit about these characters so they have a place to tell the stories that they want to tell. Like, I want to tell a story about a man who never loved. So let's transpose that and put that onto Jean-Luc Picard. And it's annoying. It's annoying because these are character traits that they did kind of deal with throughout. I mean, even going back to the Baku in Star Trek Insurrection and Ange, the character of Ange. I mean, Picard clearly has had emotional connections to people. But they just want to, let's make sure he had an abusive background and he's unable to love, and like we were talking about last night on Midnight Musings, it's like Laris, like her husband, boyfriend, whatever, died, and she's throwing herself at Picard. It's like, who wouldn't be like, boom, chicka, boom, wow, come on, man.
And Rob, help me out here. They don't mention anything about him being an android, or did I miss something?
No, they've kind of there was I think one quick mention of it. Maybe Q mentioned something, okay. But they're going to breeze right by that. I mean, that's the whole thing. Picard, he always had an artificial heart, but now everything about him is artificial, and they just that's something that I think that they should have dealt with, or Q could have just turned him into a real person, back into a real guy.
Perhaps episode 2, Rob. They just met, okay?
Yeah.
Considering we talked about trilogies, Midnight's Edge After Dark was there, Rob, and he said, Tom, probably, we don't talk about Toy Story 4 or Indy 4. Tim Hens said, Return of the Jedi is, as Mark Kermode called it, Muppets in space.
Yes.
Tim Morrill, I thought he said, Venom, let there be garbage. Exactly, Tim Morrill. That's what I said. Venom, let there be garbage. And Tim Hens said, I'm with Dieter here. Gave Venom 2 attempts, and both were crap, not really interested in a third. Stubble McShave was here, our sweet. I liked Return of the Jedi more when I was 10 years old. Now I prefer Blade Runner, which is totally understandable. Times change. You grow up.
By the way, I got a shipping notice. I think my Blade Runner 6 scale Rick Deckard figure is coming. Finally. That I've been waiting for to go with. Well, I got Joy. I just need Detective K. I got Joy from Blade Runner 2049, and I've got an old Harrison Ford Blade Runner figure at 6 that's about 15 years old.
Which company is the figure?
Oh, it's a bootleg. I don't know the name of the company that made it. So, but it's really good.
It's really good.
It comes with booze. Six scale booze.
Nice. That was Stubble. And considering Blade Runner, we talked about Terje Tiberius Morg or Norvège was here. And he is trolling a little bit, Rob. Deckard is a replicant, he said,
Deckard is not.
And he goes on. Dieter knows everything. I don't know about it. He is more powerful than sauerkraut and the Eternals combined. I actually don't know how you can combine sauerkraut and the Eternals. Terry, I will ask you about that later. Rob, that was the live chat from last week. Okay.
Well, as you know, I let everybody down because we're in the process of moving. So, and there was nothing really that pressing this week that I wanted to get except that set that hasn't shown up yet. And also, like you said, my Dune sets are somewhere. They're in Chicago now.
Yeah.
Where are they?
They're in Chicago. Okay.
In
Chicago at the moment.
One day they'll show up.
Considering just 2 streaming things I watched, I don't know if you had the time, Rob, The Boys, the animated show, Presence Diabolical.
Oh, how is it? It didn't look good to me.
It's nice. It's only 8 episodes, and it's only about 15 minutes every episode.
Yeah,
and they're not connected. They're totally different, and so you can totally breeze in 2 hours through the whole thing. They're different qualities considering the stuff, but they're always big on gore and stuff. And my favorites would probably, if you don't want to watch 4 episodes, I would say 1, 3, 4, and 8 were my favorites. But it was a nice meal between until we get The Boys season 3.
All right, I'll watch it then. I wasn't going to watch it, but since you liked it. By the way, Joseph,
it's just 15 minutes. Under 15 minutes is every episode. The first one is like a Looney Tunes, Looney Tunes version of The Boys.
Okay.
So every episode has a different style from the animated stuff, from the story. There's one that Aquafina wrote, but that is really kind of totally wacko, So for me, the best were 1, 3, 4, and 8.
Wow.
But it's just 15 minutes or less, So it's an easy breeze.
Joseph wants you to perform like a monkey, and he wants you to say, "Get your ass to Mars."
Get your ass to Mars.
Well done.
And I watched on Hulu, Rob, a movie that I was already looking for, but it's not out on Blu-ray. It's only out on Blu-ray in France, and it's probably not. I don't know about the audio. I watched on Hulu The Deep House. I don't know if you.
Oh,
you
yeah,
about it.
The one where the sunken
exactly,
house
Rob. The house where they dive to the house.
How is it?
It's on Hulu, Rob.
I got to.
It was nice. It's only about 85 minutes, and I'm a sucker for diving movies, considering, and now you dive into a haunted house. But it was a little bit hectic, considering, you have already the visual is a little bit muddy, considering the water, and then you put in some shaky cam. But it's not that bad, Rob. It's not that bad. It's nice, nice watch. 6 out of 10 for me. So it's on Hulu, Rob, if you want to watch it, The Deep House.
I watched this week. I watched it again. I wasn't going to, but I don't know why I clicked on it. The Protege with Maggie Q.
Oh, nice, Rob. I liked it, Rob.
I did not buy The Protege, but you know what? After watching it again, I'm like, I'm going to buy this movie.
Exactly.
Martin Campbell directed it. I'm going to buy it. I liked it.
I don't know if it is from Lionsgate in the States. I don't know if Cliff has something to do with special features. I don't think so.
Yeah,
but
I don't
know. It comes
know.
with some special features, I believe.
I saw.
And for me, it was surprising, Rob, that it was actually kind of brutal. The movie. I wasn't expecting that.
No, it's really brutal. I went and saw. I had a drink with Cliff yesterday. Cliff brought me a very cool T-shirt, so that was cool.
I like the Protege, Rob.
I did too.
It was a nice action thriller. It didn't set out anything more than it wanted to be for me. So it was,
but it was good. And the fight scenes were good. The action was brutal.
Yeah.
And I love Maggie Q. It was good.
Exactly. What more do you know? What would you like to know? Okay. But The Deep House you can watch on Hulu, Rob. That's what I watched on the streaming service. Since I was on a Batman high yesterday, I watched The Dark Knight Rises again.
All right.
I wanted to make another assumption of the movie, and I still like it. Okay, it, like for most people, it's perhaps not my favorite of the three, but it's still a
You have frozen in place.
production value that is put in. And for me, it's actually the finale, the climax is actually better than considering the Dark Knight. So for me, it's totally still worth a watch. Rob, have you finished Violation? From our favorite?
No, because
Rape and Revenge.
I'll tell you, I've been packing up my discs.
Yeah.
And
so you didn't call Adam about?
I haven't called Adam. No.
Okay.
One day I'm going to call him.
Rob, did you buy dinner in America from the UK?
I have not. I need to get that. I didn't get that.
But you should have. It's still a shame that it's not out in the US. So you haven't got around to watch Mayday, I believe?
No. Again, because I'm dismantling everything.
Yeah, exactly. And this afternoon, finally, Rob, I renewed my faith, Rob. I watched Benedetta, finally.
I need to get that, man.
And considering Paul Verhoeven, he doesn't let us down, Rob. Had a good time with the movie, blood, sex, all the stuff that's Paul always gives us, had a nice time with Benedetta. It's
How could you not?
How could you not? Exactly.
How could you not?
And it's gotten a great score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is totally fitting for the movie. I don't know. Do you know about the story?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's based on a novel too. It's loosely based on a true story, from what I understand.
Probably.
My kind of nuns.
Really, yeah, exactly.
If there were nuns like that, I would have gone to Catholic school, even though I'm not Catholic.
I wasn't expecting, considering it's 130 minutes, or it could probably slowing down, but no. Paul is always keeping us up on speed with the story, always something happening. And I was thinking, okay, yes, didn't expect that something that much going on here. It's party time,
All right.
Party time. All right. Benedetta. So this was the stuff that I watched. Do you want to go first? Super chats, letters, or
I could throw it. We got people really firing in super chats this morning.
Okay.
200 Watt Studio's on fire today. 200 Watt Studio says, one of my vivid memories of watching movies on TV as a kid was of the creepy sci-fi horror film Demon Seed. By the way, I have that on Blu-ray. I recently ordered it on Blu-ray from Warner Archive, and I'm awaiting its arrival. And when you talk to him again, can you please ask George Feltenstein if he was in charge of it? I want to know how good the transfer is. I have that disc. The transfer is quite good. That film is... Dean Koontz wrote the novel that it's based on. That movie... Have you ever seen Demon Seed?
I would say no, Rob. Didn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell.
So Demon Seed... First of all, Julie Christie is in it, and it's a little dated, but it's very topical. And it's about this computer. I want to say the computer's name is Proteus. And this computer, it's this AI that basically controls this house. And it traps, in a nutshell, it traps Julie Christie in this house. And it's talking about rape revenge. This machine, and I don't want to say anything, but this machine wants to procreate with a human.
It sounds a little bit like a view in the future, considering the houses we
dude,
we steer with our voices now.
It's exactly that. But the computer and Robert Vaughn does the voice of Proteus, and his voice is awesome. And the movie's really good. And it's when I was a kid, I thought it was a little slow for me, but I love it now, and the disc is really good.
Okay, 200 Watt Studios.
So 200 Watts. So there you go. Chloe Fanning says, a fun little movie that I loved to watch growing up was Dream a Little Dream. Arrives on Blu-ray on March 15th. That movie always made me wonder what it would be like to wake up being someone else. A fun little 90s high school film, high school movie. Now, of course, Dream a Little Dream is obviously a well-known film because it stars the two Coreys, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
Corey Haim. Yeah.
And it's actually got a great cast. Meredith Salinger, who's now married to Patton Oswalt, is in it. Harry
It
Dean
was
Stanton's in
from
it.
Westron. From Westron.
Yes,
Video,
yes. Harry Dean Stanton's in it. Piper Laurie, who is Carrie's mom in the movie Carrie, and of course Jason Robards. It's got a great secondary cast. Obviously, I was a little too old, but I did see this in the theater when it first came out.
Oh,
but
it was not a direct-to-video. Okay.
No, it was theatrically released. Our friend Undead Sick 83.
Okay.
Hey, Robin Dieter, I will probably get banned from this show, but I actually liked the start of Picard's second season. No, so I apologize for the blasphemy. No, I think a lot of people did. And there's a reason why.
Like Rob said, it was the greatest hits.
Yeah, it's a greatest hits. I mean, what's not to like? It had everything. It was fine. And they have a new production designer, and it felt more like one of the things I really hate now with modern Star Trek is there's no lineage, like in terms of uniforms, for instance. The uniforms are all over the place. So I feel that that's sloppy work from the producers. I'm like, there's no attempt to make everything a cohesive whole. And if you live through the Berman era from TNG through the end of TNG, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, you got a sense that there was a unity to Starfleet. The design, even when they changed the uniforms up a little bit, like in Voyager and in Deep Space Nine, but it still felt redolent of the. Deep Space Nine was a different kind of a place, so you're not on a starship. It was more rough and tumble, so it made sense that you were wearing more like an overalls kind of a vibe. But the modern Star Trek shows, they've all got different uniforms, and they're all over the place. And it feels, now they have a new production designer, and it felt a little bit more cohesive to me. And of course, they went to Star Trek Online, and they got Star Trek Online to give them not only some of their starships, but also models of the older starships like the Excelsior class, the Sovereign class. So it felt a little bit more like the Star Trek universe, but also it just goes to show you how all over the map modern Star Trek is. And when I see all that, I personally feel, as someone who grew up reading all their technical manuals and art books, and it just feels like the show's so haphazardly produced. But it was more palatable to me than before. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, I don't expect any shocking revelations as
it's a
they
little
travel
bit
through
it's a little bit too early.
Yeah, we'll see. So Undead Sick, I think a lot of people dug it, and I think that's good. Vegas RoboCop says, "Here's some cash. I feel so bad about Rob's automotive experience in life." Well, I'll tell you, I used to like cars, but I had 2 cars stolen living in LA, and once that happens, like I had a Toyota Supra, which I loved, and it got stolen and it got burnt out. They burnt it out, and everything in it was taken away. And I love that car. And I put in the bump and sound system. I had a Nakamichi subwoofer, and after that, I'm like, to me, cars are totally utilitarian. So having a Hyundai and having a Prius, they're great production cars because they have a lot of space in them, so you can put a lot of camera equipment if you need it, and I don't worry about them. So I'm sorry, Vegas RoboCop. One day
you don't need to go Fast and Furious anymore.
No, I don't. And if I want, I can go. I have friends that have Aston Martin Vanquishes and Lambo Aventadors, and there are places I can go to get my supercar yayas out. And but I don't know. For me, cars, I just, one day I'd love to have an Aston Martin. I would love that. But there you go. Checkers the Inventor says, sorry if this is off topic, but who do you guys think is the best live-action Batman portrayal, including Robert Pattinson?
The ranking time. Robert has only one movie down. I would say we have to wait a little.
Plus, he's an unformed Batman. I mean, yeah. I think that what I loved about this movie is that, Batman doesn't know if he even wants to continue to be Batman. He's asking a question at the beginning of the movie. Am I making a difference? Why am I doing this? It's been 2 years and everything I've been fighting is up. Crime is up. everything. What am I doing? And by the end of the movie, the question is answered. The city, Gotham, needs the Batman. So now he can get into the nitty gritty of what that means. But I really like Pattinson's portrayal of the character for this particular movie.
I actually don't really have a favorite. I think they all have their own uniqueness to them. If it's
I agree.
Bale, you know,
I do have to say I do think
I totally loved Val Kilmer as Batman. I loved his voice, you know. So for me, I'm not really one that really stands out to me that I would say this is my one go-to Batman. And it's always depending on the costume. And the costume for Robert was great. You know, it fitted like perfectly.
Yeah,
because
I really
sometimes,
loved it.
you know, considering the old Michael Keaton stuff, that didn't have the stuff that you can do today, you know. So the costume is always a thing that's more for me important than probably the actor. And I like the longer ears. I'm one that prefers the longer ears, considering the cape.
See, I think he never got his own movie, but I loved Ben Affleck as Batman. And my favorite Batman scene of all is the beginning of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, where he as Bruce Wayne shows up in Metropolis to try and save his people and get them, and the horror and him running into the mess. I'm like, that's Batman. And then the warehouse scene is still when he's kicking those guys' asses. I mean, he looks ferocious. He's big. But like you, I find things to like about all the Batman really portrayals. I mean, Christian Bale was fine. I thought he was good. I mean, I really liked him, and I liked the way he looked and all that. But the thing about those movies is, for me, it was the overall films themselves. Like, The Dark Knight Rises has a lot of logic problems in it, but I love it anyway. Like, I love the scope of it. The first 45 minutes of that movie is a slow build where you meet all these characters. You know, there's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne.
And when I watched it yesterday, Rob, I don't detect any CGI. You know,
no.
Even when the stadium collapsed, I think, man, this looks so great, unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's incredible, and but there's a lot of goofy stuff in it. Christopher Nolan's movies, there's always things in them where I'm like, well, you know, why are you doing that? Like, why is there the burning bat symbol on the bridge in Dark Knight Rises?
It looks dope, Rob. Come on.
I mean, well, that thing, it looks great, but who took the time to do that? Like, you know, it's Batman's like, I'm gonna paint.
I'm back, Rob. Yeah, I'm back. You needed that. I'm back. You know, I'm back in the city, back in my hometown.
I know. So thanks for that, Checkers the Inventor. 200 Watt Studio goes on to say, why does Q care about Picard if he was just the representative of humanity in his trial? Now he cares about Picard's life. It's so small now. It's not Q. Well, you know, I think Q probably Q admires Picard. He needs a friend. He needs a friend. And it's what you know what? It's like when Q shows
Q
up,
likes to annoy him.
Well, you know, it's if Q has set up this whole scenario, the trial never ends. You know, okay, so whoever caused this, it probably is going to turn out to be Picard, just like he was the cause of it and all good things. But it just seems like it's unfair if you're going to create these scenarios, these galaxy destroying or the world has changed scenarios. If Q is going to do that and you're going to just put Picard through the paces yet again, hasn't he already proved that he's going to solve this problem? Like I all of this thing, I'm looking at this going, I don't for one moment believe that Picard is not going to solve this problem. They're going to go back in time and do it like they always did. And you're going to be like, okay, the journey, we're going to go and Seven's going to try and drive a car, you know, which we saw all the way back to the second season of the original series and a piece of the action. All of this stuff we've seen, I guarantee you there's going to be very little in this Picard show that we haven't seen before. So,
and unfortunately, they did start, you know, with the usual trope these days. Action, and then 48 hours earlier, you know.
I mean, it's like, come on, because they don't. All of these TV writers, it's like they've never read books. They've only ever watched TV, and it's really frustrating. Like, you look at this, you look at these opening scenes, And then when you go back 48 hours earlier, it's like, come on, really? This is Star Trek we're talking about. Let's do what they do in every other TV show.
So,
but I don't want to bitch and moan. Undead Sick goes on to say context on my name. Undead because The Walking Dead is my favorite show. Sick because my last name is Sickens. That's cool. And 83 is the year of his birth. So he's Undead Sick 83. That makes sense for me.
Motherfucking down with the sickness.
Down with the sickness. I love that. What is that? Richard, what's his name? The guy who sings that song? Isn't it?
I don't know the
yeah, it's
Disturbed, from Disturbed.
Yeah, but I love the Richard. What's his name? Who does the cover of it?
Okay.
Let's see. What's his name? Richard Cheese. That's who it is.
Okay.
Richard Cheese does the cover of that, which I really love that song. And 200 Watt Studio goes on to say, also, isn't the trial of humanity technically over since the Federation just blew up by the Borg, which coincidentally Q had introduced Picard and humanity to in season 2, kind of bookending it all? I mean, yeah. I mean, there you go.
It's a new trial. It's a new trial.
It's always a new trial. Always a new
But
trial.
John Delancey looked great.
No, he looks great. He looks great as Q.
Yeah.
So what did you buy, man? Come on, Trash Panda.
What did I buy? Okay.
Show us what you bought.
Yeah.
Whip them out. Show us yours.
The first one comes from your friend and executive producer Dean Devlin. The 4th season of The Outpost. I bought.
Oh, nice.
And it's unfortunately the last season of the show. I hope it finishes not with a cliffhanger. I don't know about it. It's not the biggest show. It's not Wheel of Time. It's not Game of Thrones. But I quite enjoy The Outpost because of the characters. The Outpost. The next one, I didn't know if you showed it. I don't think so. I got Ringo Williams.
Nice. I always liked that movie.
Kino Lover. Yeah. Rob, I haven't seen it probably in ages. So I'm really looking forward to.
What is that? A
Steelbook?
Oh, that's just
no.
okay.
It's just
an O-ring
from Kino Lover. It's just an O-ring, and of course, same cover underneath. Remo Williams. Then, Rob, I really have to thank you because I still wasn't aware of this movie, but you showed it last week. And for me, after seeing the Batman, which was, tense atmosphere, the next day I needed a palate cleanser, and this was the right one because after you showed it last week, I immediately ordered this. With love from Africa, OSS 100.
Had you ever seen any of those movies?
Yeah, I've seen the previous two with Jean Dujardin.
And you didn't know that had come out?
No, I haven't. I wasn't aware that the third one was except when you showed it last week, and I was what a new OSS 117.
What did you think of it?
It's out in Germany too. I had some great laughs with it. Political incorrect. Have you seen it, Rob?
Oh yeah, I watch it. It's so good.
when he comes into his office, slap another slap.
It's so good.
So great. Jean Dujardin is great. What totally surprised me, Rob, at the ending. Sorry, people spoil us. When you think he jumps ship to the revolution, no. We're still staying on course with the French.
It's funny because the OSS movies, they were like France's answer to James Bond movies, kind of in the 60s. So there were those movies, and they're not. It's not like Austin Powers. They play this straight.
That's what I like. That's what I like about it.
Like when I watched the first one, even the film quality, it was shot digitally or whatever, but they used it looks like it was shot in the 60s.
Yeah.
The quality, and
when he gave the kids the cigarettes,
No, it's totally it's great. They're
totally great. When he takes all the luggage, get me the luggage. You don't need to do that.
Well, it's
totally
these movies are totally unknown in the United States. I've met very few people and they were turned on to me. My friend Craig, who lives in Seattle, he told me about the first one, and I bought. Yeah. Luckily, I bought the first Blu-ray from France, and luckily it had English subtitles on it. So
Nice.
and it's great because Elizabeth speaks fluent French, and her mom's obviously French, so I can show it to them, and because they're great.
when he goes to his apartment, or it was I think the bureau, and there was this new billboard with Francois Mitterrand. I hope they don't choose him. Just great.
They're great. And they're not out.
After there was the mid-credit sequence because his partner survived from the alligator attack.
Yeah.
He survived. Okay.
I don't think that these are available in the United States.
No, I don't think so, Rob.
Which
is available. I believe the one that you bought, the French version, which comes with English subtitles, and the German one that I bought.
Yeah, I mean, they're not available domestically,
okay.
And
really thank you, Rob, because I wasn't aware that there's a third one coming out, because the last one, I don't know, it's from 2009. The second one, I don't know. It's a long time ago.
Yeah,
from the second one.
Yeah, it's unfortunately frustrating. It's frustrating.
Really nice one. It was a nice palette cleanser after the tense Batman the next day, to have a good laugh with Jean Dujardin as the great French agent. And it was great sorry, to get back to the movie, where they put him down, to do some digital archiving, It was great. Next one, I haven't seen it. The reviews are not that good, but I'm a fan of Frank Grillo and John Malkovich. I totally forgot how good he is. He was great in Space Force. I totally love him in Space Force. I bought Shattered.
Well, okay. I don't know that movie.
Looks like a nice thriller, but the reviews are probably not that good. It's probably it's from Grindhouse,
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those,
well,
one of those movies, But I haven't seen it. Perhaps
it's not
Wolfgang.
Wolfgang Petersen's. Was that Shattered? Didn't he do a film called Shattered?
Exactly, with Tom Berenger. I believe it was with Tom Berenger.
I saw that once. I remember not liking it that much, but I need to see it. Wow, that movie is 30 years old. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. This one, Rob, you showed last week. I got it this week, and I watched it. Alligator came with the reversible.
Had you seen
cover. It before? Probably on TV, but just here and there, but not. I don't remember.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Entirely, it's pretty good considering the effects, Rob. And what I didn't know, I watched the special features. I just clicked on the first one. Then I thought, this sounds like Bryan Cranston. And then I watched, it's Bryan. What is Bryan Cranston doing here?
He worked on the movie.
He was a productionist. He was an assistant of an assistant and assistants. He told a great story considering the bus drive, and Rob Foster sit next to him. And this was great. I didn't know that Bryan Cranston was working on Alligator.
before he was an actor. He worked as a PA on Alligator.
It was in the his transition phase, Right. He was just looking what he can do,
Yep.
And he stuffed the alligator with the blood and stuff, It was great, because I didn't look what the special feature was called. I just clicked on it, and then I thought, because you didn't see him, and I thought, this guy sounds like Bryan Cranston, and then he was there, and I thought, what does? At first, I thought, Rob, I had missed him in the movie. Was Bryan Cranston in the movie?
No,
no. He was behind the scenes. He was
behind the scenes,
and it's great. Is this a new special feature, Rob?
I think it is.
Him? Okay. Actually, Rob, I don't find it here on the back. Interview with special effects artist with Louis Teague, but no mention of Bryan Cranston at all here on the back.
Maybe it was
strangely.
Yeah, they. I mean, I watched it.
But it's great that he took. Of course, he got paid, but he took the time to talk about his experience on an
I
Alligator.
love that he did
and
that.
I think the effects hold up nicely. You know? And I had a blast with the alligator on the wedding party when it goes totally bonkers. Insane, great stuff. The next one got really shitty reviews, Rob, but I'm a fan of the director, even of the bad ones from him. Most people only like District 9, but I bought Demonic, Rob, from Neil Blomkamp.
I did. I wanted to see that.
As a media book.
That's nice. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't get around to it, Rob.
Did not get good reviews.
We all know, it didn't get very, very bad. So even probably further down the road. Demonic. I still haven't watched the Red Letter Media.
Our friend Kaz Graphics sent in a super chat. He didn't say anything, but you know what I'm talking about. He knows.
Yeah, the new class. He wants a new class. For the
that he sent me too.
Smashed. Yeah, Rob, I bought something that I probably will never start and will never finish. I bought a game for the Xbox One Series.
Wait. Hang on a second, because this might be the most let's get physical media thing you've ever said. You bought a game for the Xbox that you probably will never play, and you probably will never finish. I don't think anyone has ever said anything on this show that sums up this show better than that.
Yeah.
I just bought something.
Because the difficulty level I hear is insane, or from the producers of these games, they always put very heavy difficulty on those games, but it's gotten great reviews. I will perhaps try it, but I will first, at the moment I'm at Horizon Forbidden West. I bought Elden Ring, Rob.
Everyone is talking about this game.
Exactly, Rob. Exactly. But at our age, when we're happy we still have gas left in the tank, we don't want to get frustrated anymore with games, Rob. This time is actually behind us. So
look, as long as I don't have to buy anything in game, do I have to buy anything? I almost threw the Hot Wheels game across the room and stomped on the disc because I played it for like 5 minutes, and you're like, you have to buy upgrades for your cars. I'm like, if I spend $56 on a game,
this is complete, and I bought it because I didn't check it intensely enough. I thought it would be a Steelbook, but it's not a Steelbook. But it comes with some swag at least. So you've got the game itself, and then it comes with some swag. It has a sticker on it. And then it comes with this nice package, which I thought is the Steelbook. It looked to me like a Steelbook. And in it we have some, not a patch, more a patch, not a sticker. Here we have some stickers for it. And I only heard, Rob, that it's, it can be frustrating. But if you get to a certain level, it changes, then you get really addicted to the game.
Okay,
Comes with some
I might have to get it because everyone's talking about it.
Nice cards. That's why I get it, Rob. It got great reviews, a must play, but in my age, I don't want to get frustrated with games anymore,
Your age. Well, in my day, when I didn't mind getting frustrated by my video games.
Because back in the day, Rob, video games were harder to finish. But these days, games gotten a little bit easier to play. You're getting a little bit more taken by the hand, and this is a little bit going back to the roots. So you got 3 art cards, and you got a little poster that comes with Elden Ring. Perhaps I will try it, Rob, but how far I will come, I have no idea.
That's cool.
Poster.
Cool.
Little poster of Elden Ring.
By the way, Willow Yang sent in a tip.
Yeah,
Willow says, "Come on, no love for George Clooney? As I've said before, the costumes in Batman and Robin are a celebration of the male form."
We didn't say anything bad.
I didn't mind. Look, George Clooney was saddled with his script, a bad script, but I thought he was really, he was debonair. He could play a great. If he was given a different director and a different screenplay, I think that he could have been a great Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah, the Playboy stuff is totally.
And I love that Willow is bringing her dirty mind. She might be a PhD, but she's always got sex on the brain. I love that. I love that about her. Mikey Lito says, "I've made the observation that nothing of import can happen in Picard since Star Trek Discovery exists. Unless they're going to pull out a multiverse, what's the point?" Look, I agree with that. You know, I mean, the Star Trek Discovery is honestly the worst written big budget science fiction television series ever made. I every time I try and watch this whole watching this I mean I just watch it and I'm like, how do these writers come up with this? Like, how do they look at these scripts and go, yep, this is what we want to make it out. This is what we're going to spend $10 million on.
Perhaps it is an artificial intelligence, Rob, that makes the scripts.
If an AI wrote the scripts for Discovery, they would be better than what we're getting. Right. Anyway, but Mikey, you know I agree with you. Harry Nice Guy says, my favorite Batman is from the animated series. I don't disagree. And by the way, I would like the protege much more if they would have skipped the last second of the movie. What was the last?
Help us out. The last second. What was the last second?
Was the last second? Did Michael Keaton get killed?
Was that the cliff?
I don't remember what the last second is now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I forget. Kaz Graphics. Oh, I already said that. Our official cheesemonger of the station, of the channel. Thank you, Kaz, one more time. I have to say, Kaz Graphics sent me a box with Beecher's handmade cheese. And it's true.
Is there still something left, Rob? Is there still something left?
Well, in this house, I never know. And that Beecher's handmade cheese, I mean, like I said, I like to dry it out, chop it up, and snort it. Like, you know, it's cocaine in the 80s. It's that good. No, I don't really do that. But it gets eaten so fast because the girls here, and Elizabeth's like a cheesemonger too because she's French. But the mac and cheese, the Beecher's handmade mac and cheese, of all the mac and cheeses that I've ever had that are store-bought, if you don't make it yourself, it is, bar none, the greatest mac and cheese ever. I mean, it's so addictive that, I mean, I would weigh more than I do now if I ate it all the time, because I'd eat it all the time. So, Kaz, thank you for that. And you can clip this out and use it any way you want. It's my endorsement. The Burnettwork fully endorses Beecher's handmade cheese.
Our sponsor.
Yeah. Oh, Kaz has sent enough that I consider Beecher's handmade cheese an official sponsor of the Burnettwork. Truly, it is amazing.
So, I have two left. Make the super chats first. Okay.
Mikey Leader says, I've made the observation that nothing of that came in twice. I don't know why that came in twice, Mikey, but I still agree with you. What is the point? Tom Jr. Jackson said he got Belfast this week and he loved it. Have either of you seen it? I have not seen Belfast.
I neither. I have not seen it.
And I was gonna, I was gonna watch. I mean, that's the kind of movie that, it's probably really good, and I'm a Kenneth Branagh fan. I just don't know if I would put it in the collection. I mean,
it's not speaking to me immediately.
But I think it could be great.
On the other hand, Rob, on HBO Max there was this week Drive released, a Japanese movie. Have you seen it?
The one that everyone's talking about.
The Japanese one. It's on HBO Max, Rob.
I didn't realize that. I'm dying to see it. I can't.
But it's 3 hours long, Rob.
I know.
3 hours.
I'm in. I love Japanese movies. I will watch it. So, do you have anything more?
Yeah, I've got 2 more, and I use those 2 already as 2 special editions. The first one of the companies we loved for robot tricks. I got Black Cat, Rob, from 88 films.
I saw that special edition.
Yeah.
Did you watch it? I haven't seen that movie.
I have started it, but I still have to finish it. You know the Chinese La Femme Nikita?
Right.
And it comes with a reversible cover artwork. And I haven't put it out. Let's see what we have here.
It looks like a great special edition.
As always with 88, we get the poster.
Yeah.
Of her with the new cover artwork. The poster and some art lobby cards. No. Can only take 5 minutes. So, now we go. Now we go.
Yeah, I need to get that, I think. I've heard it's really good.
And it comes, Rob, put it aside, put it back together later. And it comes with a nice book, Rob. Booklet of the movie in general.
Yeah, 88 Films does really well with Asian cinema.
Yeah. Nice. And we always endorse, Rob, Category 3 stuff here on the show. Like with robotics. Even if I don't know if Black Cat falls into the Category 3 realm. I actually don't know. Could be that it just could slip.
For those of people that might be listening to this as on a podcast, explain to the folks at home, what does Category 3 mean?
Category 3 is in Hong Kong the highest rating that you can get for a movie, which is always a good sign for us. It means, sex, violence, all the good stuff that you find in Robotrix or Story of Ricky. That are movies that's getting the Category 3 symbol.
Let's hope that the communists never crack down hard enough.
Yeah, it's a Category 3 movie. I don't know about Black Cat, but probably is a Category 3 movie. The next one, I decided, Rob, to get the normal cover artwork. It's came out with different artworks, but I like the normal, the old classic one the most. Argento's Phenomena as the 4K edition from our company Arrow. And you have to pay attention because it's out on 4K and as a Blu-ray. So this is just the 4K set.
Mm-hmm.
You've got irreversible cover artwork. So you've got 2 4K in it. Because
that's another movie that was when they brought that out in America, it was heavily edited. In America, it's called Creepers.
It's got 3 edits of the movie. Like you said, the US version, the international version, and I believe the Italian version. And the Italian is the longest.
Yeah.
The longest one.
I like that movie.
Yeah, me too, Rob. But I haven't seen it in a
I don't have the 4K.
Really looking forward how the transfer. Rob, help me out. Which version should I watch? Actually,
I'll watch the
international, the longest, the Italian.
Watch the longest version. Watch the Italian version. I can't handle all of Argento's movies are so butchered when they brought. I mean, I remember to be able to get Suspiria uncut was one of the Grail bootleg videotapes. If you could get Suspiria on Blu-ray, that was like it was easier to get Star Wars as a bootleg before it came out than it was to get Suspiria. And it was like if you could get Suspiria,
understandable. And it comes, what we have here. Okay, this was just the outside folder here. Then let's see if we got a 2-sided poster, if we get the other artwork.
Yeah, that's the Creepers, the American Creepers artwork. I mean, it's funny.
Seen that, Rob.
The beautiful Jennifer Connelly, she had a really interesting career when she was young.
That's what I want to ask you. How did she came to be in this Italian movie? How did this came to be?
I mean, between Labyrinth, she still has in my mind.
And somehow get Clint Eastwood traveling across Europe to make movies there because he didn't get a career. But how did Jennifer Connelly ended up in this movie? I have no idea.
And in the hot spot, she has one of the great topless scenes of all time.
Yeah, perhaps the book that comes with this
will
can
explain
give us
it.
A little bit help. Explain it to us.
How did she get cast?
So, really, really nice, thick book comes in it too.
I mean, she did. She was in one. Maybe because she was in Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in America. That could have been the connection.
Okay, but isn't Phenomena older? No,
I don't think so. I think it's kind of around the same time. Maybe it is.
Yeah, but you could be right about that.
Maybe that's how they,
There could be a connection. Yeah, could be. So
but
Phenomena.
You should get the hots. If you're a Jennifer Connelly fan, I saw the hot spot that she's in, that Dennis Hopper directed, at the Directors Guild of America. It doesn't get more prestigious than that. So I'm seeing the hot spot at the Directors Guild of America, and never in my life before did I ever hear a full theater of people when she has a topless scene in the water. The entire audience, men and women alike, went It's like because her bosom was so
A
magnificent.
different kind of jump scare.
It was just like you. I mean, I love the hot spot, but that was incredible. The whole theater,
It's always
and then
good, Rob,
everyone.
if there's one scene in a movie that you remember. Be
Well,
it
I
of
really
that
liked.
movie
I
or
love Don Johnson, and he stars in the hot spot. It's got Virginia Madsen's in it. I really like the hot spot, but it was just I'd never heard that in a theater before. I'd seen lots of movies with topless scenes, but never one where people everyone just went because they were so taken aback by the magnificence of young Jennifer Connelly's bosom.
Understandably so.
I've never heard that before or since. So there you go.
So this was my second special edition, Rob, and we have 2 letters left.
We do. We have letters. Yes.
In the tank. We have gas in the tank, Rob. We have still gas left in the tank. And I see there's 2 from Brian. Brian Knight is back again, Rob.
Yeah.
And he writes, Robert and Dieter, with episode number 69, just 2 months away, I would like to throw into the ring my suggestion for the show's topic, a retrospective of Jess Franco and his movies. April will be the 9th anniversary of his death, and this is the 10th anniversary of Lena Romay, his greatest star, Brian Knight, as a topic for show number 69. And Rob, he wrote in again, and he said, you mentioned the OSS 117 series. A few years ago, I watched the Egypt movie, Cairo Nest of Spies, and found the movie hilarious. With the new movie From Africa with Love, I decided to look for all the OSS movies on Amazon and put them on a list to buy. Besides the 3 movies you mentioned, there are 5 movies from the 60s, which appear to be the original series. Might want to add them to your library. Rob, the 60s movies, but they were not a parody?
No.
They were not a parody.
They were not a parody, no.
Okay.
So
that there's more of the OSS stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, Omar is here, once again, Omar 94. Hi Rob and guten Abend, Dieter. If you have this movie in your collection of the 4-film connection, maybe you can show us. Another movie anniversary is upon us. March 6, 2022 marks the 35-year anniversary of the Richard Donner movie Lethal Weapon, which came out on March 6, 1987.
Wow.
It was a critical and commercial success, joining the top 10 grossing movies of 1987. The film starred Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, and Gary Busey. It helped cement Mel Gibson as a major star in Hollywood, which he was from the mid to late 80s to early 2000s. Increased the reputation of producer Joel Silver and screenwriter Shane Black, as well as continuing and maintaining Richard Donner's status as an A-list director after doing hit movies like The Omen, Superman, and The Goonies, even though Rob hates it. Danny Glover's line, "I'm getting too old for this shit," has become famous in pop culture. The film's success led to a franchise with 3 sequels directed by Donner, and a new one from Gibson as director, and a TV series. It also, due to Hollywood's reactionary behavior, led to the creation of many other buddy cop movies like Tango and Cash, Bad Boys, Rush Hour, and Hot Fuzz. As I said earlier, if you have this movie or even the 4-film collection, maybe you can show us it. Thanks, live long and prosper. Omar, I actually don't have it in my reach. And what Rob and I probably are waiting for together would be a 4K version of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then a new box set with them.
I would love that. I'm a big fan.
And so I don't have it in my reach, Rob. Omar. I probably have a DVD box set. Probably there should be a Blu-ray box set too with the four movies. Or I think on the DVD side there was still this Lethal Weapon 4 Snapper. That was the first one that came out. I probably think so. But I don't have it in my reach, Omar, unfortunately. But the movies, I hope so, will come out at some point in 4K. And then we will have to buy them again.
Buy them again. I have the box set. I have like the 4 Lethal Weapon movies in a box set.
Yeah.
Still have those.
So Rob, I'm out with all my stuff.
We got some Mus Hussein says, "Hi Rob and Dieter, have you seen the much maligned adaptation of Stephen King's Dreamcatcher? And would you categorize it as a sci-fi or a horror movie?" I have seen. You know who made that was Lawrence Kasdan. Made Dreamcatcher, and I've seen it. It's, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I've read it.
Was it the one with the crazy toilet scene, Rob?
Yeah. Yes.
I remember that, but considering the movie in general, I haven't seen it in a long time to make a judgment about it. Is it horror or sci-fi?
So, I mean, I guess you could
do
say.
You read the book, Rob?
Yeah, I did, and
okay.
it was okay. The thing is, it's got a great cast. You look at it, and I mean, I would call it. I guess you'd call it a science fiction horror film. You'd call it both.
Yeah.
Both. But the people that wrote it, like William Goldman, who William Goldman, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, both William Goldman and Lawrence Kasdan wrote the script, so it should have been great, but it's not. But it has a great cast too, and it's not great,
nope.
But I kind of liked it. It's not,
I would have to watch it again to make a judgment.
Yeah, I do not own it. I don't own it.
I probably own it on DVD from back in the day.
Yeah. Our man Justin is here. Justin Toner says, "Hi, Rob and Dieter. I picked up a copy of Alligator 4K this week at Best Buy. I'm just happy you can still buy a disc at Best Buy. Looking forward to rewatching the movie and the Bryan Cranston interview and the special features. I need to pick up Dune 2021 and Hard Target 4Ks next. I think the Hard Target 4K got recalled and then they're repressing it.
Oh, okay.
It might be out again, but I need to get the French version that has the director's cut on it. Because I used to have that. It was great. Mikey Lito, it keeps repeating the same thing. Sometimes
same super chat
does that. The same super chat. So there you go. Well, that's good. Next week, let's see. Let's find out. Let's find out and see what's coming out next week from the mass retailers and see if there's anything that I want to buy.
Yeah.
So, for new releases,
I hope your Dunes will arrive next week.
Look, I hope Dune. Let's see. We got The Matrix Resurrections. Oh, I guess okay. I'm not supposed to get that until next week anyway. So, the Phenomenon 4K limited edition comes out here. It hasn't come out here yet. I guess the Matrix set. I thought it was already coming out, but
I think the release date is March 8th, Rob.
Yeah, so I guess that'll show that next week. Death Games coming out from Grindhouse Releasing. I might buy that. There's not a lot here, man. Not a lot that other than the Matrix that
floats your boat.
Yeah, nothing really. Hopefully I'll get some of my weird discs that I've ordered from France and stuff like that. The 6th season of Supergirl comes out. Yellowstone season 4 comes out. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the complete series, comes out.
Yes. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, there you go. Maybe that's just for you.
I pre-ordered it, Rob. I pre-ordered it.
All right. Well, there you go. And Coming to America is finally coming out on disc. Okay. So that's cool from Paramount, I guess. I wasn't a big fan of it, but
haven't the sequel. Haven't even watched it.
Yeah, and let's see what other let's go even further, and see what else is coming out. So, the Apartment 4K is coming out. That's something. That's coming out next week too. Let
me just look at my
March 15th
Amazon orders.
March 15th, Dream a Little Dream coming out. West Side Story is coming out in 4K. Touch of Evil 4K is coming out. That's very exciting. Another Spider-Man collection in 4K is coming out.
Yeah.
Touch of Evil's coming out. So there's some stuff coming out. That's cool. I'll get those. I don't know if I'm going to get Dream a Little Dream.
Looks like next week is coming out the Kingsman Steelbook.
Oh, there you go. That's something else. The Steelbook for West Side Story comes out on the 15th, which I would like to get. So that's good.
There will be a nice movie out next week, but I will
and then, of course,
save that for showing.
Yep. And March 22nd is, of course, the Godfather set, the 4K Godfather set, which I cannot wait to get.
Yeah.
So, and that comes out in many different formats, not just 4K, but on Blu-ray as well. So that's pretty neat. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of stuff that's coming out that I'm interested in getting.
Not a super chat, but I will address it immediately. Andy H, 1971 in the live chat says, "Hey Rob and Dita, do you have any of the limited edition Steelbook sets produced by Film Arena, Manta Lab, or Nova Media?" I think the Terminator set, Andy, that I have is from Film Arena.
Yeah, that's Czechoslovakian, right?
Yeah. The other two that you mentioned, I probably don't have any Steelbooks from them because they doesn't ring a bell. Manta Lab or Nova Media doesn't ring a bell. Film Arena, I know, but Manta Lab, Nova Media doesn't ring a bell at the moment.
Dieter, I don't know if you noticed this, but did you see what's coming out? A Best Buy exclusive in 4K on the 15th?
March 22nd, Rob.
Is it March 22nd? You know what I'm talking about? You're right. It's March 22nd.
I probably know what you're talking about.
Let's take a little gander. Let's take a little gander at what's coming out. I didn't know this.
It's a four movie collection, Rob.
It's a 4 film collection, Dieter. And look at this from Best Buy, the Steelbook collection. There she is, Katniss Everdeen in all of her glory. I didn't know this was coming out, bro. I think that I might have to get this. I'm gonna. Well, do you want this? Are you getting this?
I have reached out, Rob, already to someone else.
Right, it's more reliable than me.
He said, "Do you want to get it?" I said, "Come on, another one."
That looks pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it looks cool, Rob. How could I say no?
I don't know.
To this? It will probably not beat your Rambo set, but it's a nice one.
It is really nice. I think I'm going to have to order it. I wonder if it's already sold out. I hope it's not.
No, I don't think so, Rob. And it's actually, from the price, it's relatively fair, Rob. I think it's about $90. So it's a really fair price, I would say, for all 4 movies in 4K with the Blu-rays. And considering our friend Cliff does, the special features are great for the movies. Always a 2-hour documentary on the discs.
Oh yeah,
so it's really, really, really fair considering the price.
Yeah, it is really fair.
Yeah, really fair.
So, and that set is it's still available. It looks great too.
Great. Then
wow.
Pre-order it, Rob. That you can show it. That you can show it way before me. Just to rub it in.
Well, I mean, this is like the Dieter Bastian extravaganza set. Because it comes with a lot of stuff. Well, I mean, I don't know if it comes with. It looks. Look, that Rambo set they put out was great, and I'm happy to have that. But this,
I love the outer artwork going from the first over the second over the third. This was greatly done.
Oh yeah, no, it was.
And what I liked the separate compartments for the Steelbook.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now look at. Have you seen here? Here's a picture of the Steelbooks. That's what it looks like. I like this set. And I hope if they do it like the Rambo set where they have individual slots and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty dope. And look at all those pictures of your girl. Oh, I know. And you know what? I only have the first 2. I don't have Mockingjay 1 and 2, so I should get it.
So good for you to get it.
Yeah, I'm going to get it. I'll get it.
Awesome.
In honor of you.
You made the right choice.
Well, there you go.
Awesome.
Bringing that in.
Just rub it in when you get it before me.
What can I say?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. So does that bring us to the end of our show?
Yo. Yes, I would say. Yes, Rob.
All right, then.
All right. So, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte. Oh, before we forget, Rob, thank your moderators. Before I'm getting ahead to add.
I always thank the moderators. I was just waiting for you to
Yeah.
to finish.
Okay. Jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. I want to thank everyone for generously supporting this channel via super chats and tips and memberships and all of that. We will be having, I believe we're having a membership call next week, which is always fun. And we're going to start doing more things for if you're members. You're going to start getting more videos. So that's going to be cool. I want to thank the moderators. Lord Toth is here. Justin Toner is here. Tom Jr. Jackson's still a moderator, so he's here. I want to point out, I noticed that Ray Garton is in the chat. For those of you who don't know, Ray Garton was one of the splatter punks of the 80s, wrote some great horror novels, including, I can't reach it, but I actually have a hardcover version of it too, but his book Live Girls is right over there. I highly recommend Live Girls. And if you can, get the Dark Harvest uncut version of his book, Crucifix Autumn. I'm not going to tell you why, just get it. It's not Midnight Metal. It's a different show, but it's cool to see Ray. You know, go support Ray Garton. He, I have a whole Ray Garton shelf actually, of his books. Methods of Madness. I think that's Dark Harvest. I got a lot of Dark Harvest books. Ray's great. So hello, Ray Garton. How are you?
They're still on the shelf until they get packed.
Yeah, yes, the books are being packed, which is, I have a lot of books. They're heavy. They're heavy. I mean, the last thing I'm going to get rid of is the problem is I've got where you're looking at me, they've got multiple shelves. Like I need to take this shelf out first. It's got to move. But these books, they're all heavy. They're all just heavy. What are you going to do?
Rob, you've seen Riders of Justice?
Yes, the Matt Mikkelsen.
Considering one of my favorite characters, Emmentaler, when he put together his PC,
yeah,
and he said, "Don't touch anything, don't touch it." That's, I imagine, you when you're moving and somebody would try to help you. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything.
That's exactly me.
Stay away.
That's exactly me. Get away from here. That's totally me.
It was a great moment in Riders of Justice. Loved it.
It's true. Well, on that note, everyone, thanks for being here, and
thanks, guys.
We'll be back next week with episode 63 of Let's Get Physical Media. So keep on spinning your discs.
On spinning. Exactly.